Welcome to our segment of Cafecito Time con Equality Health. My name is Maria Rebozo Lapine. During this segment, we're going to talk about the holidays. And while the holidays is a time for fun and family and friends, it can also be a difficult time for those who have lost a loved one. For this segment, I have invited a dear friend of mine to talk to us about celebrating our loved ones and how we can help someone coping with grief. My guest is Claudia Arambula Bryant with Asisteo Home Health and Hospice. Claudia, welcome.
Thank you, Maria, for having me. It's such a pleasure.
I've been trying to get you here for a while, so thank you for finally being available and being part of our Cafecito.
Of course.
You know, we're going to be talking about the holidays.
Yeah.
But the information that you're going to share with us today really is not just for the holidays. It could be any time that you have a reunion, a family reunion, a wedding. It could be a birthday celebration. These are great tips that you're going to give us today. But before we get started, I want them to get to know you a little bit. So what would you like to share?
Well, let's see. I'm married. I have 2 kids. I live here in Arizona, but I'm originally from El Paso, Texas. I've been in the healthcare industry for over 16 years, and I am a certified dementia practitioner as well as a certified Montessori dementia practitioner. So that is a passion of mine that I love to educate people about. Currently, I work for an amazing company, Asisteo Hospice and Palliative Care, where we provide home health services, physical therapy, occupational therapy in the home, as well as end-of-life care at home.
Well, thank you for sharing that with us. You said I'm from Texas, but live in Arizona. So I want to say hello to those of you who are watching us in Texas and those of you who are watching us in Arizona. I want to get started right away. Oh, wait, but I did also hear that you were a dementia specialist.
Yes.
So right here, I'm inviting you again for another segment because I really want to have a segment on dementia.
I'll be back.
Perfect. So back to our topic of the holidays. I want you to give us some examples on how we can celebrate our loved ones during the holidays or any family reunion.
Yeah, so right now is probably the most difficult time throughout the year for anybody who's lost a significant other. It tends to bring out memories of their loved one who have passed. So it's very important to celebrate that life as well. And the things that we can do that is something as simple as putting photos on an altar when everybody walks in. That might be the first thing they see. Or even putting a plate on the table to represent their loved one who has passed. And really just sharing stories, saying beautiful things about the person who's no longer with us.
Those are really great examples, and I've used 2 of them, just so that you know. I use the one where we put pictures. I put pictures of our loved ones that have passed away, and I put it in a very popular section where the drinks are at, where I knew that everybody would be showing up, and when they saw the pictures, they would all share a memory or a story, and of course, it made us laugh, it made us cry, but it made us feel alive at the same time, so it was a lot of fun. And we also had a quinceañera, and we used the plate that represented our loved one that was no longer there with a rose. And that felt really good because it felt like they knew that we still remembered them, and we knew that they were with us.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, so those are great examples that you gave. You know, a lot of us want to help, Claudia, those people that are grieving, that have lost a loved one, and sometimes we don't know how to go about doing it. What can you tell us?
Well, if you want to help anybody who's lost a loved one, it's important to acknowledge that you may not be the person that they've decided to share those moments with, right? And that's okay. Just be present, be there with them throughout whatever they want to share with you. What you don't want to do is ask questions and try to pull that information out of them when they're not ready. So at the end of the day, being present is very important, and giving them the support, the love, and anything else that they ask for during those difficult times.
You know, I'm glad that you shared that you might not be the person that they are going to open up with, because most of us, we want to help, and we think, oh, I want to help, I'm going to be that person. But we might not be. They get to choose who that person is. So don't be surprised. And a lot of the times, a family member is not the person that they're going to choose. So thank you for that. Another thing that I wanted to share with us, because I found this really interesting when you and I were talking behind the scenes, some phrases and words that we often use and that we really shouldn't be using.
That's such a great question because I think with everybody, we hear certain things that we don't like. We don't want them to say, or even when you yourself say it, you kind of feel, did I just say that? Oh my gosh, that was the wrong thing to say. So I want to share at least 3 phrases that I hear quite often. One of them is if someone is starting to open up and share about their loved one who has passed, you do not want to say, no. We're not talking about anything sad today. Today's a day to celebrate. It's only going to bring the person back down. Their emotions are going to go down, and they're not ever going to want to open up to anybody at that event. Another thing that I hear quite often is stay busy. Move on. It's okay. Everything will be okay. Everything will not be okay. Nobody wants to hear that, right? And the last one that I hear quite often, almost every single time, is they're in a better place. Right?
Oh my gosh, you just hit it perfectly with all 3 of them, because I hear them all the time as well. But I can tell you this last one that you shared where you said, oh, at least they're in a better place. I can tell you that when my sister died, they would always go up to my mom and say, well, at least she's not suffering anymore. She's at a better place. And my mom's reaction would be like, oh, no. The better place would be to have her here with me right now. And I know we're trying to help, and these are things that we hear often because we want to help. But just remember, we want to avoid them. And now, what are the words that we should say?
It can be very simple. Something as, I'm sorry. What do you need from me? Is there anything I can do to help you right now? And the most favorite one I love to use, because it is very sincere and very simple, is, I'll pray for you. And that's it.
You know, that's amazing, because just hearing it coming from you, it sounds like you're telling me you want to help without really saying it.
Right.
I'm here and I want to help. Thank you. And I don't want to run out of time without covering a little bit about children, because a lot of the times I think we don't include children, we don't think about it, and what can you help?
That's a great topic, because a lot of times people don't realize that not only are you grieving, but the children surrounded by everybody are also grieving. There's a saying that if you're old enough to love, you're old enough to mourn. So let's think about that for a second, right? Children are watching us. They hear everything. So it's okay if you want to open up your own feelings to them, because more than likely, they've been waiting and holding on to that moment to express their own emotions.
Wow.
Yeah.
Isn't that true? You know, a lot of the times we don't include, like I said before, we don't include them in the process. We don't want to cry in front of them because we don't want them to see us sad, when in reality that might be what they need. And let's not forget that children don't express their feelings a lot of times like we do, right? With words or emotions, but through play and through drawing. So being present with the children. I don't know, but what I'm going to remember about this cafecito is what you just shared. If they're old enough to love, they're old enough to grieve.
Yes.
That's impactful. Thank you for sharing that with us. We're out of time. I want to thank you so much for being here with us today. And you heard her. She's coming back for the dementia, and she's coming back for another grief and loss too.
Yes, I'll be here.
So thank you so much. Thank you for joining us today. As we talk about grief and loss and the holidays, I just want you to know that we have an amazing care coordination team at Equality Health that can help our members and their loved ones through the process of grief. Contact us if you need help. The number is here below. We have also included resources for you. Please share this Cafecito segment with your friends, your loved ones, and remember to subscribe to our Cafecito YouTube channel so you'll know when the next Cafecito is ready to be viewed. Cheers, Claudia.
Cheers.
To your good health.